either have or know someone who is suffering from depression, bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, or any other DSM-4 psychosis? Show of hands. Okay. All of these diseases are tied into circadian rhythms, and I'll explain why in a few minutes. Fellow Flying Toasters, yes, Toastmaster of the day. Circadian rhythms are key to our everyday existence. They incorporate our normal clock. And you can see here that your body temperature is lowest at 4:30 in the morning. 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, most of us are getting up around here unless you're rich. And then we have our highest point of alertness at 10 a.m. So any of you who are runners, 10 a.m. is a good time to go out for your morning run. For those of you who work out, this is also a good time to work out in the morning because you're at your highest peak of alertness. You'll be most able to control and have your best coordination between 10 and 2:30. So these are your key points to work out. You have your greatest cardiovascular and muscle strength at about 5 p.m. So those of you who do weight training, 5 p.m. is your time of the day. Your melatonin secretion will start at night and then will turn off right around when you wake up. And it's melatonin that's the key to this circadian clock. Melatonin is inhibited by sunlight. So your eyes will see the sunlight from the melatonin. It will go up into the suprachiasmatic nucleus, which is in the brain, and houses the pineal gland. The pineal gland will then stop the release of melatonin. This is the structure of melatonin for any chemists in the room who are interested. So why am I interested in melatonin? This is a hormone released by the pineal gland, as I said before, and it allows you to rest and recover when you're sleeping. It's actually a natural antioxidant in the body that will go into your cells at night and clean up all the garbage that's in your cells and send it out into the blood and the lymph to be removed. It makes you sleepy. It reduces your blood pressure, your body temperature, and your activity level. So even those of you who are on blood pressure medication, in the evening, your blood pressure will return back to normal because of melatonin. And it's key, as I said before, to your sleep-wake cycles that are tied to CNS disorders such as depression, bipolar, and schizophrenia. Down here on the bottom, which unfortunately you can't see at the moment, but I will send you the slides, is a link that you can take to determine where you are in your melatonin cycles. Are you slightly off with your sleep cycle? Are you on target? It's very common for people to be slightly delayed. And this is what a normal actigraphy, so actigraphy is a graph that we use to determine the body movements of people. So when you're most active should be during the day, and when you're asleep, you should be least active. So a normal person has a pretty regular schedule, busy during the day, asleep at night, busy during the day, and in the morning. An insomniac is all over the place because they don't sleep well. So when they get up in the middle of the night, they'll go downstairs, they'll watch TV, they'll eat something, they'll read a book, they'll write a letter, they'll send out emails at 2 a.m. If any of you know people like that, they're probably insomniacs. Then you have the night shift worker, the nurses who are there late at night, the guys at UPS who are picking up all the deliveries at midnight, at 2, at 4 in the morning, and their sleep cycles are also affected. So they sleep during the day, wake up a little bit in the afternoon, and then are more active in these off periods, but their cycles are never normal, they're never the same. They're always constantly shifted over. What we have here is a 24-hour free-running person, and what that means is this is a person who does not pay attention to morning and night cycles. They're on their own cycle time, which usually ends up being 25 to 24 and a half hours in the day, instead of the regular 24 that we all go by. And they shift over time. Their cycles will shift over time, which is also not considered totally normal. And then you have the advanced circadian, where they're starting a little bit earlier, and then they could have points of insomnia. And this data was provided by a website that you can't see, but you'll see when I send out the slides. So I'm studying melatonin in my research here at Pfizer for the CK1 project, which is based particularly on bipolar disease, for the reasons I've previously mentioned, that melatonin is very important to sleep cycle. Sleep cycle is very importantly tied, or very strongly tied, to bipolar disorder. So in order to understand bipolar disorder, we have a drug that we are hoping will shift their circadian rhythms to a certain point so that they can normalize and be in the normal sleep-wake cycle, so that things like not getting enough sleep, getting into an argument with someone, having a really good day or luncheon or something doesn't trigger manic episodes or depression episodes, which can happen very quickly. So each of the data points taken is a pool of 3 samples that are taken within 5 minutes of each other. So this 6 is 6 to 6:10, so 6, 6:05, and 6:10, 8 to 8:10, 10 to 10:10, 12 to 12:10, and 4 to 4:10 in the morning. They were tested in duplicate, and the serum samples that I'm showing here have a lot less variability than the plasma samples. The plasma samples that I received had huge error bars. And these were done in Wistar-Hahn naive rats, never dosed with any kind of drug. This is their normal melatonin level. So we're seeing that they have a consistent onset of melatonin in most cases between 10 p.m. and 12 a.m. So our hope going forward is that with using our drug, we'll be able to shift their time course so that when we run these studies without drug, they will follow the same time course, but with drug, they may be pushed out to the 4 a.m. mark. And I'd just like to leave you with a fun cartoon that I'll read for you. It's a woman who wakes up next to her husband who doesn't look well rested, and she said, "I slept like a baby. I dreamt I took melatonin." Thank you very much.